And our guest for this segment is Matthew Rahn, soon to be a graduate of Rogers State Public Television. I should say Rogers State University. Matthew, welcome.
Thanks, Sam.
I feel like you're one of ours, man, because I've worked with you, and I got to tell you, I'm very impressed with the talent you've displayed.
Yeah, thanks.
What we're about to show the folks at home was an assignment, end of the year assignment. Tell us a little bit about it before we see it.
Yeah, so it was my senior capstone project. We got to choose any topic. What I really wanted to do was highlight the growing Tulsa brewery scene. So microbreweries have been popping up all over the nation in the past 20 years. But Tulsa, in the past 10 years, has really been catching on to this movement. And I wanted to show people what that movement was like and what they could expect from Tulsa brews.
You've got one more, you're going to go through the line this year, but you got one more course and then you're done.
Yep, and that'll be done.
And what do you want to do with it?
Well, I'm looking to work maybe in TV news somehow, either on or off the camera, behind the scenes. I like putting together stories and stuff like that. So
you're off to a good start. My friends, I want you to watch this with a couple of things in mind. Ordinarily, if you watch a story on a newscast, you hear it, you see it, and it gels or not. But I want you to look for a couple of things here. Look for the quality of the photography. Look for the flow of the sound bites that you're going to hear. And when it's all over with, I promise you, if you'll trust me on this, you're going to know a lot more about the subject than you know right now. Emily, if you will, roll the tape.
Tulsa, Oklahoma was once known as the oil capital of the world. The economy was booming as oil barons drilled to their heart's content. That black gold was a precious commodity pumped straight from the ground and right into the heart of Tulsa. Unfortunately, oil is a non-renewable resource, one that won't last forever. But there's a new liquid pumping life into Tulsa, and it tastes much better than oil.
This is our town. We love Tulsa. We love the people of Tulsa. We love our families and friends here, and so we wanted to bring a brewery to Tulsa that could be culturally significant. For goodness sakes, we could talk about 8, 9, 10 years ago what the laws were like in this state. They were not advantageous for us to do this. In fact, until August 26th of 2016, we're really not able to sell our full-strength beer from our own brewery.
SB 424, it was a rule to allow us to do direct sales to the public.
The law change in our state has opened the door wide open for people to open breweries and to operate and to have great small businesses that hire people and contribute to the community.
You got to be progressive. You have to look for things that make money. Breweries make money. People love it, but let them be productive and be producing revenue by producing beer. We had a freshman senator come in and change the whole entire industry because she allowed get rid of 3-2 beer. Oklahoma was the largest consumer of 3-2 beer in the United States.
State Question 792 is about convenience. It's about consumers. It's exciting to see Oklahoma consumers get what they desire. Part of our plan in doing so was to support our community from the get-go, and this is something that's not unique to Marshall Brewing. You see craft brewers all across the country doing that. So we support charities, whether it's a donation of a tour or a t-shirt or some beer. We try and do everything that we can to connect with the community, and I think it's important that we build craft beer that way, that it's a grassroots growing mission. And with that, we found the support of our community. And I think that they understood, that craft beer was going to have to start literally from ground zero to build, and they supported us through some really, harder times in terms of operation. And because of that, I think we've got a loyalty that is perhaps the best in the country, and support for craft beer in Oklahoma, and Marshall Brewing Company has certainly benefited from that. Well, it's all part of what I describe as a cultural shift. There is a trend where consumers want to know who makes their product. I think that's very, very important. You can come down here to our brewery and see folks making your beer. You can see the process happen. There's a connection to that.
I don't know if it's more of the farm to table concept that people really like to have their food grown close, that they like to support local businesses in general. I think it's just a sign of the times we're in right now. People want local. Obviously we've had macro breweries across the nation. I don't think that's really going to be the case as much anymore. I think everything's going to be very localized.
This is a small business that brings people together, and I mean, you go to a brewery, you almost always have a good time at a brewery. I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a brewery that I haven't. It's like either met someone new, or you had a great beer. You always have a good experience.
I think that there is a really cool shift, a generational shift that's occurring, and I think everyone wants Tulsa to be a place that you're proud to be from. We came back here a few years ago realizing how special Tulsa is, and that we wanted to help contribute to people seeing that as well and wanting to stay here or wanting to come here.
You never know. I mean, it could still grow. I mean, we're so far behind. Oklahoma's so far behind in the brewing scene that 20 years is probably a blip. We could still be growing in 25, 30 years.
As people get more excited about beer, and especially just as the laws have changed in the last 6 months, people are discovering us every week, and we get more and more people out here. A big thing we're doing, though, is later this year we'll open a facility at 18th and Boston. It'll be a small pilot facility, and I'm really counting on that facility being our way to be more interactive with people in Tulsa. Tulsa's beer scene is without a doubt growing, and I think by the end of the year we'll maybe have more than double the breweries that we have right now in town, so a lot of people want in. I think that's good for everyone. People will start to have a brewery culture in our town, and that'll be a totally normal thing on a Saturday for people to maybe hit 1 or 2 breweries, and that's just a great place to hang out and spend the afternoon.
Our goal for the future really is to dig deeper and deeper in Oklahoma, to get into those spots maybe in rural cities and towns where craft beer has yet to be discovered, and really make Marshall Brewing Company one of the most ubiquitous brands of beer. I want for people to think, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they make Atlas IPA, they make Sundown Wheat, they make Big Jim Oak Porter. That's what we'd really like to see. And so for us, future growth plans focus pretty heavily on the state of Oklahoma.
What makes these breweries so special is how they bring people together. They're part of a movement that values a sense of community and quality products that aren't shipped across an ocean, but made right here by the hard-working people of Tulsa. Perhaps the best side effect of Tulsa breweries is pride. It's knowing that this is a place that we see a future in, a place that isn't left behind, but is pushing forward.
I hope you were able to appreciate the clarity and the incredible perception from the photography that Matt shot, and also the flow of that documentary. I call it a documentary. If it's anything, it's a mini doc, but it's worth noting that this young man is about to graduate from college. And I got to tell you, Matt, that just impressed me all the heck and back.
Thanks, Sam.
Good job, lad.
Yeah, I had fun time working on it. It was a blast.
Anything you'd change if you could go back and do it?
Well, like I said a minute ago, I think there's so many breweries popping up in Tulsa. I think if I could just work on this for even a few more months, there would be so much more content to do, and just to get more into the personal aspects of the breweries themselves would be great.
You know, I heard Walter Cronkite one time say many years ago, he'd retired, and he said, you know, in all honesty, you can take the fireman out of the firehouse, but you can't get the firehouse out of the fireman. He said, to this day, if I hear a fire truck coming, I'll walk out in the front yard and look. He said, I'm curious. You have that quality, and I hope you're going to stick with it. Do you know what you want to do?
Well, I'd really like to produce stories like this. I really like telling stories. I love meeting new people and learning what they're doing, and especially local. I love working locally with the people of Tulsa, the people of Oklahoma. I think it's really cool to be able to tell their stories in a way like I did for this video.
Dan Rather told me once, in a word, courage. Don't ever lose your courage, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Thank you, friend.
Thanks, Sam.
Good job. Good job.
Appreciate it.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.